All right. Hey. This is Charles and Linda Musselwhite. We discuss ideas, products, and services with industry experts and influencers. Today, we are honored to have Eric Dahl, Director of Marketing, Inkjet, and SOHO Laser Printers with Brother International. And today, he's going to walk us through how to choose the best printer for your small office, home office needs, and how to stay within your budget. Eric, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
So, Reed, in preparation for this, you mean there's more to printers than just hitting print and changing out a print cartridge every once in a while?
Sure. Choosing the right printer for your small business is an important decision because a lot of people rely on it to print, everything from business documents to invoices, right? It's an integral part to a lot of business processes, correct?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I would also say what we've been using ours for is a lot of flyers and postcards.
Don't forget our book.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, it's an important decision, and I think I hear from small businesses and home office users all the time, and they always ask, like, how do I choose the right printer for my needs? And I generally break it down to kind of 3 or 4 very simple questions. So one, what am I actually printing? Am I doing a lot of documents, or am I printing photos, or what types of things am I printing? Because that would help a lot of people make a decision: should they buy an inkjet, or should they buy more of a laser printer? Either one, offer a host of benefits. It's just those are sort of questions you want to ask as one type of question. You'd also want to ask, how many users do I have? If I have just one user, I might be able to get just a small desktop unit. Or if I have multiple users, if I have 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 or more employees sharing a device, maybe I need something with wireless so it's easy to share, and I want something that's a little bit more heavy duty that can do heavier print volumes.
So I've just got a quick question on wireless. It seems that everything is going wireless these days. Is that true from your perspective, or is there still a need and a niche for wired devices?
Some people still like a wired device, but it's becoming more of a single-user device that's USB only. But a lot of people are looking for wireless. Most devices come with wireless today across a multitude of brands, including Brother. The products I'm responsible for, almost all of them have wireless except maybe one in my portfolio of products that I work directly with. And people like wireless today because they can share it, amongst multiple users. Another growing trend is mobile printing, right? People have tablets, either Apple devices, Androids, even some Blackberries or whatever devices they have, and they're looking for ways to be able to connect those devices and print documents right from their mobile devices, and wireless is one of the things that allows you to do that using either technology from Apple or apps from different manufacturers such as Brother. We have an app called iPrint and Scan that allows you to actually print and scan from your multifunction device to your mobile device.
And Eric, I do have to share, we have the Brother MSC laser printer, and here's how interesting it is. When we first brought it in, I came into it with the expectation that it was going to take me half a day to get everything dialed in and everything seeing each other. Like I set aside a lot of time just knowing that was going to be my headache.
From past experience,
yeah.
Of course.
And that was our first experience with the Brother printer. But I got to tell you, I was extremely satisfied and happy that it was really click simple. When we powered up the unit, I believe it talked directly to our router. Everything got dialed in, and I was shocked. Like, this is really simple. This is quick and easy. And then I stumbled upon, like you were just talking about describing, that mobile print capability. And I thought, that would actually be pretty cool. I guess that's the geeky nerd coming out in me. But I thought, man, that'd be really cool. But I can imagine that's going to take half a day to set up. Literally within maybe 15 minutes of downloading the right app for the phone, and finding something I wanted to test, it printed. And again, I was shocked. I thought it was cool. And so now we do that on regular occasion when we're out away from the office, and something is important. I don't want to forget about it. I pull up the phone, I dial in, and I hit print, and it's waiting for us when we get back into the office. It's one of the coolest things ever with a printer.
Yeah, lots of inkjet and laser printers have the ability to print from phones and tablets, and it's one of the things that you might not necessarily believe you need, but as soon as you start using it, you're like, how did I ever not have this on my printer? It's worth upgrading your old printer just to get a new one so you can have those sort of capabilities.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Yeah, and it's easy to set up. It shouldn't be intimidating. Most modern drivers today, you should automatically, as you said, push wireless settings down to the device. It's pretty simple. And there's also technical support for those that are a little bit challenged, and they can call and get free lifetime phone support from Brother to get help with wireless setup.
Yeah, we just actually brought in a new team member today, and as he turned on his computer, it talked directly to the Brother printer, and he's already hooked up within seconds.
That's great. That's very good. So, certainly we talked about number of users, and that plays into whether or not you need wireless. I'm going back to how to choose a printer. I'd also talk a little bit about how much am I actually printing, and sometimes that depends on the number of users, and sometimes it just depends on the business and the amount of printing they do. We frequently ask small businesses and home office users, how much do you think you print? And it's surprising, most people don't really know. You can get a range of I print 10 pages or 50 pages a month to, I print a couple hundred pages a week, and there's really not a lot of certainty in it. So I like to ask people, how many reams of paper do you go through in a given month? And a ream is, one of those 500 sheet packs. So if you're printing, a ream of paper per month or more, you want to look at a business quality inkjet, so not a really low-end, inexpensive inkjet. You want to look for something that's, mid-range in terms of price and feature set, or look at a laser printer or laser all-in-one, because those can really handle that ream per more a month of printing capability.
Very good.
Right. So you mentioned a little bit ago about the mobile side of things. What other technologies are available or should be considered for printing purposes?
Another growing trend for a lot of all-in-ones that have color touchscreen LCDs is a lot of them can now start to connect to cloud services. So if you're a Dropbox user, Google Drive, Microsoft SharePoint, a lot of printers today can connect to those services. So you can actually print from, or you can even scan to those devices, and it really helps the printer become more part of your work, your daily workflow and using services you're probably already using in the office.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, because I know a lot of folks, just the adoption rate of Dropbox and Google Drive itself has gone up tremendously. I bet a lot of folks don't realize that there's that capability as well.
Sure. I use it for, my own work purposes, and I'm currently doing my MBA, so I'm constantly uploading and downloading files, and I can actually use my phone and my printer and everything in sync with Dropbox today. It's a fantastic application.
Wow. To me, that's a game changer, especially for small businesses, to be able to utilize that functionality.
Just to think about the efficiency increase. You don't have to do, that's awesome.
You have our wheels spinning.
Yeah, it's very simple, and a lot of times at least with Brother devices, as soon as you get your wireless all-in-one set up, the services are already there. All you have to do is use your login credentials that you've already established with Google Drive and Dropbox. You just type it in on the LCD, and it automatically will connect and sync all the files, which gives you the ability to then print to or actually scan to some of those services as well.
Nice.
Excellent.
So with that being said, or you're just making me think of some questions. I'm sure that Brother's given some attention to the security of the devices as well then, yes?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Right on. How would, again, I was joking earlier about just hit print and go over and change a cartridge out every once in a while, but, you're, like Liz said, the wheels are starting to spin. How does one, or how should one calculate the cost of ownership over the life of a printer?
Sure. Well, a lot of times when you ask business owners, what do you think your printing costs are, most people refer to the cartridge cost. Oh, it cost me $40 a cartridge. And, well, that's only maybe half the story. So you really also want to consider how many pages, or we call it yield, you get from the cartridge. So many printers today offer a standard and a high yield. A high yield means you get more pages in that cartridge, so think of it as more ink or more toner in that cartridge. So you might pay a little bit more. Instead of the cartridge being $30, it might be more like $40 or $50, but you're getting a lot more yield, and your overall printing costs are much lower by buying the larger yield consumable.
Got it.
And is that advertised across most products, or at least with Brother?
It is. So all of our packaging actually tells you the amount of pages you should get out of the cartridge, and it's an approximate number, either based off of an industry standard. But you generally can use that and the cost of the cartridge to determine about what your printing costs are. So that's half the equation, and the other half is the actual cost of the device. Generally speaking, not in all cases, but the more money you spend on the machine, generally it has larger yield consumables, either ink or toner, and can save you money over time. And that's the full total cost of ownership picture. So that just means it's the device cost plus the amount it's going to cost you to print. So sometimes you can buy a really inexpensive machine for $50 or under $100, but the reality is it's going to cost you a lot more as a business owner over time versus just spending a little bit more on the hardware for a more economical machine.
Sure. There's a lot to think about. It goes into it. Now, once you start putting everything out there and you weigh out all your options, just because it's cheap doesn't necessarily mean it's economical to operate down the road.
Absolutely, and it may not last as long in some cases. They don't really do machine rating life, but generally, if you buy a printer that is of good quality and has high yield consumables and all the feature sets you're looking for, many of those are going to save you money over time.
For those that are environmentally conscious, and I think that's a growing trend across all of us, right? We want to be more environmentally minded. One of the things that I like about Brother is that when I'm done with a printer cartridge, it used to be, what the heck do we do with this? And quite frankly, I know folks who remain nameless that would throw the printer cartridges in the trash. I know that's not really what you want to do anymore. Brother has has thought this through and provides. You log into their website, you can actually print out a UPS label, attach it to the box that the old printer the old toner cartridge came in, slap it on there and send it right back to them, and it's clean, it's efficient, it's done, doesn't cost you anything, and it's taken care of, and it's eco-friendly.
Yeah, I think that's one way to do it, and of course, buying cartridges that are of again larger yield, of course, means less cartridges in the market. So in some cases, if you buy the high yield option of ink or toner versus standard yield, in some cases it could be double the amount of yield. So that's 2 less cartridges you'd have to buy if you just by buying the high yield.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. So you said you're going for your MBA now, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Same line of work, or are you going to do something different?
No, same line of work, just working at advancing in the career and learning new skills.
And you've been at Brother for 10 years now, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so here's the $64,000 question. With the time that you've already been there and probably what you've seen behind the scenes in R&D, where can we see printing, especially with Brother, going to be in 5 or 10 years?
Sure. Well, our general feeling is that cloud and connected devices are probably going to continue to grow as cloud services continue to gain penetration. Another growing trend is the way you get supply. So one growing trend in the industry is kind of around auto replenishment. So the ability of the printer to basically order ink or toner for itself, and using cloud connectivity with Brother and some of our channel partners. So I would anticipate that in the coming years there'll be a time where as the printer gets low on ink and toner, you'll be able to see the cartridge will actually show up at your door without you ever having to order it.
That's awesome.
That's cool. I need that right now.
One partner that's actually already starting to do that is Amazon. They have a program called Dash and Dash Replenishment, and there's been announcements that they are going to be doing that with Brother as a vendor.
That's great. I mean, I'm just thinking about improved efficiencies in your business. I mean, that really helps out a business owner, because I'm sure we've all been caught in that situation where we're doing a print job, or even if it's just one sheet, and all of a sudden we're out of, that particular color that we're printing. You're going to take 30 minutes to an hour out of your day to run and grab a cartridge or, and replace it.
Yes, I think that'll be a growing trend, in the coming few years.
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be nice. So, what haven't we talked about today that we need to discuss?
I think we covered printing costs. We covered, number of users and maybe that dictating what you're printing. One other thing people ask me frequently that maybe we should talk about for a few seconds is whether they should buy an inkjet or a laser. There's sometimes people get confused by that, and which one's better, I hear all the time. And my answer to that would be one's not necessarily better. It just depends on which needs, what your needs are. So obviously, if you're printing a lot of glossy photos, you typically want to go with an inkjet because they can handle that type of paper. If you're printing primarily documents and your print volumes are larger, maybe you're doing a lot of PowerPoint slides and things, you may decide a laser might be right for you. So it's not a matter of is ink or laser better than the other. It's a matter of what you're printing and then really what type of applications and how much you're printing would help you make that decision.
Right on. So bottom line, Look, if we're going to be better business owners, committed to our businesses, taking action in our businesses, being serious about business, we need to make informed decisions. And that would include something that maybe we don't even give a lot of thought to, but something like a printer, which is truly foundational and a workhorse in most of our businesses. Excited to hear about some of the upcoming technologies that are coming. And folks, I'm just telling you, we've tried some of these things like printing from our smartphones, which is still, I guess the geek in me is really cool.
I think we even printed when we were in New York.
We did print in New York. We tried it out. So our office is in Southern California. We were in New York. We printed and just wanted to see if it would work, and sure enough, it pulled it off. I'm looking forward to diving in and learning more about these the cloud applications and the shareability across all of them. Because look, at the end of the day, printers are a necessity for almost every business. But when it comes down to choosing the right one, business owners, especially small business owners, can overlook the major factors during the decision-making process. And what may initially seem like a minor investment could really end up costing a lot more to the bottom line if we're not doing our homework. So, folks, pay attention to what Eric shared with us today. I think it was great information. That about wraps up our time. Eric, thank you for sharing your knowledge and info, and we want to thank our audience for spending part of your day with us. If you want to learn more about Brother and Brother products, visit them at brother.com. Or as Eric did point out, if you have trainings or drivers or more technical oriented stuff, visit them at solutions.brother.com. And if you want to learn more about Charles and Linda, real simple, visit us at charlesandlinda.com. Eric, thanks again for your day today. We enjoyed talking with you. Maybe we should make this a quarterly or annual update.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technology is moving at the speed of light anymore, right?
Yeah, thanks. Well, thanks for having me, and I'm happy to join you as many times as you'll ask me.
We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, guys.